You're bundled up like it's wintertime. It's not wintertime.
Okay.
But it's fall.
It is. It's cold in the mornings.
Yeah, we're really excited. It's not actually that early for us. We've been up for a couple hours because we're pretty excited. We've got a long weekend. We've got a lot of planting to do, but we've got a lot of trees to pick up, and that's where we're headed right now. Really excited because we are at our favorite nursery and we are getting trees. Today will be a good day. So we are leaving RSI Growers, and as always, I have a lot of information from Reed. Reed, thank you for the information download. We got a whole lot of grapes and different types of fruit trees. So we still have another stop we need to make at a nursery to get some supplies and maybe another tree or two, bush or two.
Well, we'll see what they have.
We're still got to do that, get back home and get these things at least ready to get into the ground starting tomorrow, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna hit the road.
Let's go.
We are finally back. You can see we've got trees lined up here in the chicken tractors. There's a few trees we definitely want to get planted today because they're replacement trees. So we're gonna be getting those in the ground to get them nice and at home, and then working on these two sets of tractors and the rest of these trees here over the next couple of days. But we need to go grab something to eat. We actually are concentrating on a few trees that we lost to the jackrabbits that we did replace. One of them is a tree we've never carried before, and let's just say Reed strongly suggested by putting it down on the ground and telling us that we were going to buy it. So we're gonna trust his judgment. He knows us pretty well when it comes to this. So we need to get supplies out of the outbuilding so that we can get to planting and get some of this in the ground, because not only do we need to plant these trees, we have a lot of grapevines and we're still trying to figure out exactly how we're going to protect those from rabbits, and then making sure that we have enough material to actually build cages for everything. A couple things you're going to see while we're in here though. We did get pig feed and we have chicken feed for broilers up in the racks. Kind of went a little aggressive on the pig feed over there. We got more than we can actually get up into the racks and need to make some adjustments, but we'll figure all that out. What we need to do though is get some supplies, grab the tractor, and get over to the orchard. We're actually in the western orchard. We had 3 trees that died, and talking to Reed, he pretty much confirmed what we thought, and really it's the jackrabbits that did it. So we had an infestation of some type of pest that all the other trees were basically unaffected by, and those 3 trees basically were just getting pounded by those, and he agreed. Basically, biting, having those bitten in half, it cut their ability to basically fend off the pests, and they died. So we have here a replacement in a larger container. So hopefully we get a good start. This is a peach apricot plum hybrid. And then we actually have a new tree that he strongly suggested. We had a plum cherry hybrid here. You'll see that dead stick there. And this is its replacement, and that is actually his tree. So that one is a sat lap, is what he calls it. I think it was sat lap. And it's a combination, yep, sat lap. So it's a combination or a hybrid of a Satsuma plum, I believe, and a Lapins cherry, if I'm not mistaken. So you can see it's actually a beautiful looking tree. So we're going to be replacing the other plum cherry hybrid that we had there. And then we have another tree that we want to get in the ground with you guys today. So we're going to go ahead and get to work on these plantings. You guys have seen us do this before, so we're not going to film the details, but we will kind of do a time lapse of us working out here in the middle of the day. And I need some sun protection. I wanted to take a quick break and show you what's happening down here underneath these wood chips. Now, this tree died a few months back, but we continue to water it because, of course, it's on the same irrigation schedule as trees that were fine. So what we're doing is we're pulling back the wood chips and the dirt it's creating. This is a mix of dirt and wood chips that's basically just been getting water here all summer. So we're seeing that. I don't know if you could tell when I placed that first tree, but I didn't have to really use my foot at all to dig. The soil that it creates inside this hole is amazing. And then of course, you can see how different this ground here with water and wood chips looks as compared to, oh, I don't know, right there. And that's just a few feet away from where we had this going on under the soil. Now again, this is just the initial ring. We're not doing the big rings today. The big ring extends all of this soil production out even further. Okay, so Lori and I need to get this sat lap in the ground. So we have the first 2 trees in for this long weekend. So we have this guy here, you can see is a little bit smaller, but bigger than what it replaced. And that down there would be that sat lap. And that tree is as big as the tree next to it, which is a burgundy plum. So that's nice to start off real well that way. Both of these, the root systems look really good. I couldn't find the root crown on this one, so we planted it a little bit higher. The root crown on the sat lap was very easy to see. So we planted that one perfectly as well, I believe. We'll see. Watered these in really, really heavy because they do not get irrigation tonight, and they look as good as the rest of these, and actually better as far as their wood chip mulch. So we have these good. One thing I want to show you on what we replaced. These are the 2 trees that we just pulled out of the ground. You can see the sleeves here from the rootstock. But you can see that the roots themselves were growing out just fine. At least this one, as small as it was, the roots were going out fine. This one here you can see did have some root growth started, but really didn't push too hard out of this little sleeve. You can see that's still hanging on pretty good. So not sure about this one. I'm not sure if this one was growing strong enough to survive one way or another, but I do know that those rabbits eating these in half definitely stunted the entire ability for this tree to survive. So these 2 are gonna go into the compost heap. Now there is still one more tree that we wanna try to get planted today, because we actually have to still buy more trees. I think we did the count today. We've got 40 trees, that includes grapevines, that we're gonna be planting here over the next few days. And then we also need to buy some additional trees that Reed's not gonna get for us. So, but before we get to that, I want to make sure we plant this one last tree here this afternoon. The last tree planting for today would be what's right behind me there. Now you guys will recognize that if you've been following us for a while. That would be a bay leaf, a laurel bay plant. It actually turns into a small tree / bush. So what we have around me here is kind of our tropical area. You guys watched us plant the guavas right here onto my left, and there's another tree that's over here that you guys haven't seen yet, so I can't show you that one, but we've got those 4 trees here. That will be a nice focal point right in the corner. It is an evergreen like every other tree we have up at the front here, and I think it's gonna look really good. So we will have drip irrigation running to that. We talked to you guys about that in last week's vlog where we planted out the rest of these trees, the guavas. That was down at the end, so it's watered a few times here, so hopefully it's gonna be fairly easy to dig and plant. We got this tree from Summer Winds Nursery. So standard nursery, we like them. We'll get other trees and plants from them. They're actually a very good nursery. It's a good looking tree. I'm excited to put it in the ground, but we talk a little bit about the fact that a lot of times nurseries plant these trees way too deep, and definitely finding it with this one. As Lori slides in a little bit closer, hopefully you can pick this up on camera. I don't want to pull it out of the pot. But if you can see this, hopefully where my finger's at, that's where the potting soil was, okay? So what I did is I had to tear away, you can see these feeder roots that started growing out from the trunk actually, and they're wrapping a little bit, but I had to go down almost a full inch. I can feel the first major root right here. So the root crown, if you can pick it up, is basically right here. So if I would have planted this the way it was, we would have been a good inch or so too deep to start. And that is not a good thing, not a good thing at all. Now, would the tree survive? Probably. Would it thrive? Probably not. So we're gonna plant it just a little bit high. We always do, just to make sure that we're still gonna be okay as far as the crown is concerned. But I wanted to break real quick and show you guys that. Very, very common to find this in potted trees from a nursery. See how this looks now. Really looking forward to this tree. Obviously, it's going to give us a wonderful herb for cooking. It does wonderfully here in Arizona. It grows very, very strongly, survives the winters and the summers without any problem whatsoever. It's an evergreen, just a beautiful, beautiful tree. Looking forward to how this one does. Today is October 15th, and Lori and I have the next 4 days, well, the next 3 days now off, because you know what? It is peak season for that fall planting. We're really excited. We've got a lot more trees to plant here over the next few days. We're going to share as much of that with you guys as we can. Obviously give you guys an update on all the farm activities here as best we can. But you know, it is definitely time to plant. If you haven't done so yet, get out there this weekend, plant a tree, plant a garden, do any of those things. So just want to thank you guys for joining us today. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. You know, questions or comments, please down below. We love answering those and interacting with you guys. Amazon shop, free painless way to help support the channel. That link's down below. Healthy Farm Living, check out that channel if you haven't already. That's our other channel that we started. Lori and I cover all the cool things we do inside and outside the farm to stay healthy. So just want to thank you for joining us today and remind you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere, so can you. This is the one that's over off of Bell Road and I don't know, like 163rd or something.
163rd?
No, we live out that far.